Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and today I'm going to be doing a versus video between the Nike Kyrie Low 5 and the Jordan Luka 1. So as far as the price goes, they're very similar in price. So Jordan Luka 1 goes for 110 bucks and the Kyrie Low 5 is normally 120 bucks as far as the retail price goes, but I just got off Nike.com and it's going for 60 freaking dollars. I guess Nike just wants to get rid of all their Kyries or something. But also, if you guys have heard, Kyrie was traded to the freaking Mavs, so they're now teammates. I'm very excited to see how that duo is gonna do. What do you guys think? Are they gonna win a championship? It'll be insane. But anyways, if you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But let's get started off with the Tracciones. And yes, both of these shoes are freaking amazing. Both of them have top tier tractions, and you don't really have to break in either of them. You know, they're both good pretty much right out the box. If I remember correctly, the Kyrie Low 5 maybe took like a little bit to break in, but not that much. So if you're playing on a clean court, you should be good to go. It has an amazing stop. You're stopping on a dime. If you're playing on a dusty court, I would actually say the Kyrie Low 5 is a little bit better. Here in the Luka 1s, we have a translucent outsole in the Kyrie Low 5. In this color, it's a solid white rubber outsole. But in my personal experience in playing both of these, the Kyrie Low 5 picks up a little bit less dust. However, the Luka 1 is still a very easy wipe. You know, if it does pick up dust, you just go 1-2 easy slight wipes and you're good to go. Kyrie Low 5, still same thing, but it picks up less dust. You know, so you'll have to wipe less frequently in the Kyries. So the Kyrie Low 5 is just a tiny bit better on a dusty court. Also, another good thing is that none of them are dangerous. You're not slipping out like crazy in either of these shoes on a dusty court, like if you let too much dust build up. So that's a good thing. I would say the Luka 1 slides just a little bit more as well, but they're still like not super dangerous. As far as the durability goes, durability is probably way better in the Lukas just because the rubber is a lot harder. The Kyries, the grooves are super thin and the rubber is a lot softer, so probably don't play in the Kyries on the outdoor court. Also, one added bonus though is the Kyrie Low 5 having the outsole curvature. It's not crazy, it's not super pronounced like the old school Kyries are, even comparing it to the MB1s. You know, MB1 has a lot of like curve. Kyrie 2, Kyrie 3, all those have crazy curves, so not as pronounced as those, but we still do have a nice rounded shape here, and the rubber does come up for better grip when you're doing these types of movements, as opposed to the Luka 1s where it's just like, it's just flat. You know what I mean? So it doesn't, you don't have that curve. So if you like that curved shape, just like I do, and also like playing in old school Kyries, and the Kyrie Low 5 obviously is a nice little added bonus. So just because of that, and also the better performance on dust, I would say the Kyrie Low 5 is better for traction, but just by a tiny bit, Luka 1 is still top tier. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. Both of them are very smooth, right? So here in the heel, nice rounded and curved shape. Same thing here in the Luka 1s, and they're both like exposed midsole, so it's not super clunky, or it's not clunky at all really. And then in the forefoot, they both have nice rounded shapes. And the Kyrie Low 5, however, has a good amount less forefoot flex, I would say. It flexes out actually a lot more in the midfoot. Look at that, crazy. Luka 1s, however, we have a nice little flex, right? But we have a lot better torsional support. So the Luka 1, I would say, is better for torsional support, but if you're doing heel dominant strides down the court for heel to toe transition, they're both smooth. And then moving on to the cushioning setup, I would actually say I like the Kyrie Low 5 just a tiny bit better. So the main difference, I would say, is the zoom unit, and there is a zoom unit here in the forefoot. It's not super bouncy, it's not the easiest to feel. There's just a little bit of compression, there's just a little bit of bounce in the forefoot, but still better than nothing here in the Luka 1s, right? And also court feel, they're both good, but the Luka 1 feels a little bit lower to the ground, especially in the forefoot. The Kyries actually are a little bit higher up off the ground, which is kind of weird, but there's that. Not a crazy huge difference, you're not gonna notice it like crazy, but when I had both of the shoes on at the same time, the Luka felt a little bit lower to the ground. As far as impact protection goes, they're both good. They're like adequate, obviously not the best, even on hard heel strikes or hard impacts. So yeah, they're both responsive, low to the ground cushioning setups with adequate, you know, impact protection. It's just that the forefoot zoom unit is a little bit better, or the forefoot cushion is better in the Kyrie Low 5. So just because of that, I would say I like the Kyrie Low 5 better, even though it's like super similar, you know what I mean? Now moving on to the materials, I definitely like the Luka 1s better. You know, it just feels a lot more quality. Actually, as far as the quality goes, yeah, it feels better for quality. You know, the Kyrie Low 5 definitely isn't terrible, but it just feels a little bit more plasticky, a little bit like cheaper than Luka 1s. I also do like the flight wire. It looks like pretty nice and adds a lot more support. The Kyrie Low 5, as far as the thickness goes, I would say They're both around the same. Maybe the Kyrie Low 5 is a little bit thinner. They both feel pretty nice on foot, conforms to your foot very well. I would say the Luka one is a little bit more supportive material. As far as the tongue goes, they both have a nice amount of padding. Kyrie Low 5 has a little bit more padding. You know, it'll be a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more cozy on top of your foot. They're both half booty construction tongues as well. And then in the ankle area, I would actually say they have like the same amount of padding, but the Luka ones have a little bit more padding here in the back of the heel, like where your Achilles is. The Kyrie Low 5 is a lot more minimal there. So overall, the materials, I would say I like the Luka ones better. You know, quality feels a little bit better, and also it feels a little bit more supportive, but they both are thin and conform to your foot very well. Now moving on to the fit, I went true to size for both of them, and they both fit me pretty well, but the thing is, they both are a little bit roomy in the toe box, right? I would actually say the Kyrie Low 5 is a little bit roomier. Look at how much look at that. Look at how poofy it is. You know what I mean? It's, comparing it to the Luka one, and also the Luka one's still a little bit roomy. So yeah, I would pretty much tie it up for that. Width-wise, also they're both like normal widths. You know what I mean? And but length-wise, I was good going true to size. So if you want a roomier fit, you should be okay. Maybe go up half a size if you want like even a roomier fit. But if you want a super snug fit, probably not the best option, but it's not terrible. You know what I mean? But if you look at like old school, older Kyries, like the Kyrie 6, Kyrie 7, they were a lot like tighter in the toe box. I don't know why they changed it up so much, but anyways, there's the fit there. Moving on to support and lockdown, they're both amazing as well. You know, lateral containment. I mean, it's a Kyrie and it's a Luka, you know what I mean? So here in the forefoot, I was good to go in both of the shoes, and then also here in the heel, obviously they both have internal TPU heel counters. So when you're doing lateral, like hard lateral movements, even if you're a bigger guy, you should be good to go. I would actually say though, the Luka ones feel a little bit more supportive just because of the overall like flight wire and like the overall material. The Kyrie Low 5 doesn't feel as supportive, you know, it's still supportive, not as supportive as the Luka ones, right? Also for lateral stability, I'm actually curious which one's wider. Ooh, the Luka one is actually wider. Look at that. It's a good amount wider. It's like what, 8-10 millimeters? Wow, that's kind of crazy. Look at that. It's a pretty big difference, right? I don't really have any huge issues with the Kyries though, because maybe because of this curved shape, it kind of keeps you on like the medial side and you're not going this way as much. But lateral stability was good for me in both of the shoes. Actually, it didn't really matter too much. So there is a support and lockdown. I didn't have any issues with heel slippage or anything either. So there's that. Moving on to the weight of the shoe. The Kyrie Low 5 is probably gonna be lighter, right? I'm guessing 10.9 ounces, so it's super light for the Kyrie Low 5. And then the Luka one is like 12 ounces, right? So Luka one is still light, but the Kyrie Low 5 is still a good amount lighter. So yeah, you definitely feel it in like the overall weight of the shoe, but neither are like super bulky or anything like that. Nothing protrudes out like crazy or nothing bulges out. You know, they both feel like streamlined, doesn't feel bulky, but Luka ones just feel a little bit heavier. As far as the overall responsiveness goes, they're both very responsive shoes, very good traction, responsive cushion, supportive materials, supportive shoes, and it fits me overall pretty well too. So I felt very quick and lightweight when I was playing in both of these shoes. It's just that the Kyrie Low 5 feels a little bit lighter. I guess the material feels a little bit more minimal as well. Now moving on to the ventilation, they're both very good, you know, super thin materials, and both of these have pretty good airflow. You know, Luka ones still pretty good. I'd actually say the Kyrie Low 5 has a little bit more airflow, but they're both pretty good for ventilation. And now moving on to the aesthetics, I don't know guys, I feel like I like the Luka ones a little bit better. It grew on me a lot, and there's some really dope colorways of the Luka one coming out. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, honestly, I feel like I would pick the Luka ones a little bit more often than the Kyrie Low 5. You know, the Kyrie Low 5 is still super nice, and there are some things I like about the Kyrie Low 5 better than Luka ones, mainly, you know, like the forefoot zoom unit and also the outsole curvature. It's just that the Luka one fits me a little bit better in the forefoot, and the cushion also isn't terrible. I mean, it's not even like the Kyrie Low 5 zoom unit in the forefoot is like anything crazy. And also like the outsole curvature is still a nice bonus, so which I would definitely miss if I picked the Luka ones. But You know, like the court feel is a little bit better and it just fit me better. That's why I'm picking the Luka ones over the Kyrie Low 5. But honestly, the Kyrie Low 5, I still have a great time when I play in those. So they're both pretty similar. You know, they're both good performers. They're both low tops. They're both responsive. So you can't really go wrong with either shoe. You know what I mean? Whatever you pick, you're gonna have a good performer. You know what I mean? So take into account which category is more important to you and see which shoe won in that category and pick whatever shoe according to what you would like, obviously. But like I said, you're gonna be good to go whichever shoe you pick. So anyways, that about concludes this versus video. Again, if you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.